This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
We're beginning this Friday with a live look at guess what? Well, that's the Gateway Arch, everybody. It is Friday, August the 11th. It's also National Sons and Daughters Day. The National Day traces back to the 1930s, St. Joseph, Missouri. You see, a minister came up with the idea after a child asked why there were Father's and Mother's Day, but no day to celebrate kids. Though when parents hear this, most would probably say every day is Sons and Daughters Day, especially when you're picking out food for them and feeding them and everything else you got to do, getting them ready for back to school. How about that?
Yep, helping them go potty, all those things.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that during the break, like, ooh. Yeah.
Braces.
Braces.
Yeah, braces,
for that.
yeah. The list goes on and on. Good morning, everybody. I'm Randy
College. I'm sorry.
Well, welcome in. I'm Michelle Lee. We're just so great that you're joining us on this Friday. We finally made it. I said this earlier, but I mean it again. Give yourself a big pat on the back. You want to hug yourself. I mean, whatever. We
Embrace.
made it. We made it.
Yeah, we're all hugging ourselves now. We look so awkward.
Let go. Let go.
Just let it go.
You see a guy walking down the street today hugging himself, you know why. Yeah. Weird. All right.
I know.
We
Well,
have
we earned it.
sunshine today, so look forward to that. Hot temperatures too, so not only will you need a little extra water, sunscreen, and as Rennie likes to call it, that good old sweat towel. Yeah. Especially if you're going to be doing things like cutting the grass, outside. I sometimes just use my shirt, and then I'm like, oh man, I am just drenched. So this morning's going to be a decent one. Temperatures are starting off in the 60s and 70s. 74 at Lambert. Lots of 60s on the map away from St. Louis, like Flora, Mount Vernon, Scott Air Force Base, even in Perryville this morning. So highs will be up near 90, maybe as hot as 93 to 94 degrees later today, but we are dry through the day. Thunderstorms, those develop tonight. We'll talk about that as you give yourself a big old hug. All right, let's head over to Paul. Yes, traffic time. Paul, what is happening now that we're in the 6 a.m. hour?
Well, this morning you're going to want to give the MoDOT guys a big old hug because I think it's good. Well, there's a lot of them out there, but let's think deeper. They light it up for you. Even with sun coming up and light, there are at least some lights letting you know you have construction on the way. And really, this is all about safety for them and for us. And there is plenty of construction this weekend. This is the one we were just looking at, but look at that as you head a little bit closer in on 70 as you be in St. Charles, you're tapping the brakes. Also a little something in Illinois that's going to be going on this weekend, all weekend, and then removed again by the time we get to traffic on Monday morning. It's Route 3, 6440. More traffic coming your way soon, guys.
New this morning, a vacant home in North County goes up in flames. It started just after 10:30 last night on Pine Grove near Natural Bridge in Pine Lawn. Fire crews tell us there were no utilities connected to this home, and right now they are still trying to determine what started this fire.
Right now, police are looking for two men accused of taking a 2-year-old girl from her home last night.
She was found safe just hours ago. Our Alex Fees is live for us in North St. Louis County with what happened and the search that is going on right now for the suspects. Alex?
Rennie and Michelle, officers from here in the North St. Louis County precinct are the ones who responded last night just prior to that Amber Alert being issued. Now, the two armed men who abducted that little girl, police say were wearing ski masks when they forced their way into that home last night. This happened about 7:30 in a home in North St. Louis County here at an apartment complex on Marbella Drive. That's just north of 270 off Bellefontaine Road. Police say the two men broke into the apartment, assaulted a woman, then abducted the child before leaving with the little girl. The 2-year-old was found later about 9:30 in Ferguson and taken to a hospital to be checked out. She was later reunited with her family. The suspect's car was found, but police are still searching for the two men, described as wearing black ski masks and black clothing and armed with handguns. 5 on Your Side spoke with the little girl's terrified grandmother right before that little girl was located.
They kicked in the door and pissed with my daughter, and they said she was holding her baby, and they was trying to grab my back. They kept hitting her until she finally let the baby go.
We'll hear more from that now grateful grandmother coming up at 6:30. St. Louis County Police say they had a lot of help from the public last night and fellow law enforcement agencies prior to that Amber Alert being issued. Live this morning in North St. Louis County, Alex Fees, 5 on Your Side.
Thank you, Alex. Right now, there is an effort to keep young people off the streets at night in downtown St. Louis. After videos like the ones behind me surfaced earlier this summer. You can see people carrying massive guns, someone blowing up a porta potty, and most tragically, the scene at 14th and Washington where one teenager was killed and 10 others were hurt. But this week, a city-sponsored party brought more teens to downtown St. Louis instead of fewer. Our Travis Cummings joins us now live with the problem that the city plans to take the next steps on. Travis?
Rennie, there's been a lot of back and forth over this. Back in June, Mayor Tashara Jones said that the downtown area is not a 1 a.m. destination for teens on the weekends. And that came after a teen party turned violent into a deadly mass shooting. And so right after that is when we started seeing the city create these downtown youth zones. One along Chestnut Avenue between 8th and 9th Streets is where city-sponsored parties have been happening from 7 to 11 on Saturday nights. More than 300 teens attended the last gathering. Police say they had to deploy extra resources to monitor the crowd. Now, Alderwoman Kara Spencer says she doesn't want the city to engage in this, saying in part, downtown late at night is not a place for youth. Most of the businesses open at that time serve alcohol and cater to an adult population. Jessica Myers, director of the St. Louis Area Violence Prevention Commission, responded in disagreement. She said in part, we had no major problems and we were really able to listen to what the kids were saying when they were saying we don't have a safe space to go, and we were able to partner with groups to provide that. A downtown resident we spoke to also weighed in.
The supervisory portion of it ended at 11 p.m. and we know that there were groups of kids roaming around downtown until 3 a.m. in the morning. So this is really contrary to good strategy for dealing with public safety.
The rest of the city-sponsored events will not take place downtown, including those set for this weekend. Coming up at 6:30, we're going to break down some data from police calls that were here in the area around the time of those teen parties. Live downtown, Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
Thanks so much, Travis. Right now, police are searching for 2 teenagers accused of carjacking an employee in front of the St. Louis Justice Center. The victim was robbed at gunpoint early yesterday morning, and his silver Nissan Altima was stolen. Officers located the car a short time later near 10th and Cass. Police arrested a 12-year-old there, but 2 teen suspects got away.
Hours from right now, the Illinois Supreme Court is expected to hand down its ruling on the state's controversial assault weapons ban. The law bans assault-style guns and large-capacity magazines. People who oppose the ban say it's an infringement on the American rights. Supporters say it fits within the confines of the Constitution. Right now, the law is still in effect. The Illinois Supreme Court's decision is expected at 9 o'clock this morning.
Also this morning, parts of Chippewa back open after a water main break caused it to buckle. Right now, crews are still working to fully fix the road near McCausland and the River to Pear. In June, the St. Louis Board of Aldermen approved a water rate hike for the first time in 13 years to help improve and maintain the city's aging infrastructure.
All right, as you get going into the weekend, let's get you up to speed with our weather first forecast. And this morning we have some showers on the radar. I do not think these will impact us here in St. Louis. However, if you're watching us from Bowling Green, Pike County here north, you may get clipped by that little shower that's starting to form near Moberly. You can see how that's drifting towards the east. And this will hold together and impact you north again from Pittsfield, Litchfield over towards Carrollton. In the short term, we will have dry weather today, but tonight that same system will give us a chance for rain, and over the weekend we'll have more chances as well. We'll update you and show you the futurecast on that coming up.
Closed road.